I'm fashioning the following sentence, and here's your sentence. I'm sentencing you to 30 months felony probation, and the probation is going to be to this court. You're going to be allowed to travel wherever you want. You do not have to live in the state of Illinois. You can report by phone. I know that if you're going to try to make a living and do some of the things you do, you may have to go to other places, New York and Los Angeles. You can do those things. You will pay restitution to the city of Chicago in the amount of $120,106. You are fined $25,000, which is the maximum fine. And you will spend the first 150 days of your sentence in the Cook County Jail. And that will start today, right here, right now. Mr. Smollett, though the jury found you guilty and I've sentenced you as I have, you have the right to appeal the findings and rulings of the court or ask your sentence to be modified. To do those things, you need to file a notice of appeal in writing within 30 days. You may also file a motion to modify your sentence, which would have to be filed in writing within 30 days. Anything not stated in those filings are waived for purposes of appeal. You cannot afford lawyers or transcripts. They would be provided free of charge.
Great performance, Oscar worthy. I mean, I saw who won the Oscars last year, and I'm telling you, this man, mwah, chef kiss. So it's important to ask a couple of questions. Number one, how did so many people believe the hoax? I mean, the President of the United States, the man we put our faith in, and his Vice President, the most important people in America who are above misinformation. They protect you from misinformation. How did they end up believing this hoax? How are they so gullible? And most importantly, how will they react now when they know that the truth has come to light and they were wrong? Will they apologize? Will they say that they have egg on their face? We are going to find out the answer to all of these questions in this video. So first of all, let's see what the initial story was like. Let's see if there were any clues, any hints that a normal person could have latched onto and say, hold on a little bit, this story seems a little bit suspicious. So Mr. Smollett claimed that on a freezing January night, at the hour of 2 a.m., the hour of the wolf, ladies and gentlemen, he went to pick up some Subway sandwiches because that's what millionaires like to do. In the middle of the freezing winter, during the night, they just go out to the nearest Subway. And as he does this, two men appeared and they screamed at him. Do you know why they screamed at him? Because he was black and gay. In Chicago, can you imagine this? In Chicago, he was being harassed on the street by two men for his gender and sexual identity, as well as his racial heritage. But not only that, the men then continued to assault him and chose not to rob him. What a believable story. What a powerful story. It could have happened to any other millionaire in Chicago because this was fueled by Trump's rhetoric. Like Trump went there and pumped the fuel like and a city like Chicago, which overwhelmingly voted for Hillary Clinton, over 85%, they were mind controlled. They were puppeteered by Trump, who was pushing hatred among the American people who didn't have the terms of service to protect them. Where was Twitter in a horrible place like this? Why was Jack Dorsey asleep at 2 a.m. and allowed people to be harassed on the streets? How can we have a safe society if big tech and the banks do not protect us from harm? Isn't there responsibility? Isn't this why we have banks? Isn't this why we have the media? The modern church of 2022, the mainstream media industrial complex. What were they doing when this happened?
There are many indications of a hate crime here. They are looking for two suspects who were apparently wearing Make America Great Again hats.
We have a media that's saying it's a debate whether or not what just happened to Jussie Smollett is a hate crime. It's absurd.
You know, Jussie Smollett had a noose on his neck just this week.
And the media has really cast so much doubt on his story, which I find so personally offensive, that a gay black man is targeted and then suddenly he becomes the victim of people's disbelief.
He said his attackers hurled racial and homophobic slurs at him. And this is America in 2019.
the media, the modern church that tells you how to think so that they can save your soul from racismus. A lot of faith the media is spewing, but no critical thinking. Very little of it. Because turns out...
It's false. No way. Not this time. We created it. Not this time. No, not this time. It's totally made up. Pure fiction. It's fiction. It's fiction. We made it up. We made this one up. It's a made-up tale. It's a total fabrication. It never happened. It never happened. This one was invented by a writer.
So it turns out the media was driving up a little bit of hysteria, a little bit of panic in the population. Oh, this evil president. Look, even millionaires aren't safe on the streets. Be afraid. Be very afraid. Oh. And I think they got a little bit of advertisement money from that, right? A little bit ching. Oh, that's so good. Good job, media. At least you made money out of it. But how did the politician feel after this, right? Like, turns out they got a little bit of egg on their face. Let's see how the politician react when they're confronted with this.
Would you like to make an amendment to your original sentiment?
Which tweet? What tweet?
About saying that it is a modern-day lynching, that...
Sorry.
Yes, Jussie Smollett.
Okay, so I will say this about that case. I think that the facts are still unfolding, and I'm very concerned about, obviously, the initial allegation that he made about what might have happened.
So, hey lady, can you tone down the hysteria, por favor? Just a little bit, just to calm people down. Can you stop with the paranoia? No. Why should she? Why should she? Because paranoia gives votes. Fear unites people under the Democratic Party, right? Fear-mongering. I mean, obviously everyone knew. This is such an unbelievable story that a millionaire can walk the streets of Chicago and not even get mugged, but it's Chicago, right? And he gets accosted at 2 a.m. in the middle of winter. I mean, okay, fine. Even if it's possible, shouldn't you at least ask some questions? You know, like trust but verify? No, of course not. Because only bigots trust but verify. Bigots and people who end up being right. If you haven't followed the trial, by the way, in case you might say, well, hold on a little bit. Maybe the jury was filled with evil Republicans. And they had it in for him. Turns out that there was evidence and a paper trail with him paying his assailants. His assailants confessed, and they even rehearsed it beforehand. There is absolutely no way that you can look at that trial and find any other verdict besides guilty. So why are people so interested in this particular case? Well, not only was it a moral panic, right? Like black people and gay people are afraid to walk the streets of Chicago, apparently. But secondly, a huge waste of police resources, because they actually took this case seriously and they invested a lot of resources in order to find out who did it. But it was also the fact that when initially he was supposed to be trialed, the prosecutor dropped the case. Isn't that fascinating, right? The prosecutor initially dropped the case. When people look at it, it's like, millionaire, famous person, friends with the Obamas, prosecutor drops the case. Oh, omoshiroi, like the Japanese like to say. Omoshiroi. But apparently the case was later on picked up again. Justice was done. And now we are at this point. Of course, no one is going to apologize for being wrong. Of course, the media is going to memory hole it. Of course, like all of this panic isn't going to create a trust and safety council for the media so that maybe they can be supervised when they are causing harm to society. No, of course not. But it's a small win, I guess. You know, like the people who are watching might have understood a couple of interesting things and keep them in mind for the next time the media is very concerned about an issue. And by the way, did you notice when they're concerned about something, like their eyes do not appear like a person that's concerned? Like, for example, I have Ukrainians that come into Romania to seek refuge from the war. And you can see it in their eyes that they are concerned, okay? Like, they are people that are frightened. They see bad stuff and they legitimately have concern. When you look at the people in the media, they don't seem very concerned. Why should they be? They're millionaires. They have more money than you. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.